Near the outskirts of the peaceful village of Arunpur, there lay a vast, serene meadow surrounded by rolling hills. In this village lived a young girl named Meera. She was kind-hearted, diligent, and always eager to help others. However, Meera had one habit that weighed heavily on her heart. She constantly compared herself to those around her. Whenever she saw her friend Priya, who was an exceptional painter, Meera would sigh and think, "I wish I were as talented as her." When she noticed her neighbor Rohan, who is a skilled musician, she would lament, "Why can't I be as gifted as him?" Even when she watched the village athletes running effortlessly, she would whisper to herself, "I'll never be as fast or strong as them." Over time, Meera's self-doubt grew, and she began to lose interest in her own passions. She felt as though she was falling behind everyone else, and her once bright spirit started to dim. One day, an elderly sage visited Arunpur. She was known for her wisdom and ability to guide people toward inner peace. Hearing of her arrival, Meera decided to seek her advice. She approached the sage and poured out her heart. "Guruma," Meera said, her voice trembling, "I try so hard, but I always feel like I'm not good enough. Everyone around me seems to have something special, but I have nothing. How can I stop feeling this way?" The sage smiled gently and said, "Meet me at the edge of the meadow tomorrow at sunrise. There, you will find the answers you seek." The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight painted the sky in hues of gold and pink, Meera arrived at the meadow. The sage was already there, standing beside a small, bubbling stream. She gestured for Meera to sit beside her. "Look around you," the sage said. "What do you see?" Meera gazed at the meadow. "I see flowers of all colors, tall grass, and trees swaying in the breeze. There are birds flying above and butterflies fluttering nearby." The sage nodded. "And what do you notice about the flowers?" Meera thought for a moment. "Some are tall and bright, while others are small and delicate. Each one seems unique." "Exactly," the sage replied. "Now, imagine if the sunflower wished it were as small as the daisy, or if the daisy wished it were as tall as the sunflower. Would that make sense?" Meera shook her head. "No, Guruma, each flower is beautiful in its own way." The sage smiled. "Just like these flowers, every person has their own unique beauty and purpose. The sunflower doesn't try to be the daisy, and the daisy doesn't try to be the sunflower. They simply grow and bloom in their own time." Meera frowned. "But what if I don't know what my purpose is? What if I'm not good at anything?" The sage pointed to the stream. "Do you see how the water flows? It doesn't compare itself to the rocks or the trees. It simply moves forward, carving its own path. You too must focus on your own journey. Your strengths may not be the same as others, but they are just as valuable." Meera sat in silence, letting the sage's words sink in. She realized that she had been so busy comparing herself to others that she had forgotten to appreciate her own qualities. She was kind, hardworking, and always willing to lend a hand, traits that made her special in her own way. From that day on, Meera stopped comparing herself to others. She began to explore her own interests and discovered a love for storytelling. She would gather the village children and share tales of courage, kindness, and wisdom. Over time, her stories became famous, and people from neighboring villages would come to hear her speak. Years later, Meera became known as the Storyteller of Arunpur, a title she wore with pride. Whenever someone asked her the secret to her happiness, she would smile and say, "Every flower blooms in its own time. Don't waste your energy trying to be like others. Embrace your own journey, and you'll find that you've been extraordinary all along. And so, Meera's life became a testament to the power of self-acceptance and the beauty of embracing one's unique path.